Alrighty, folks, we are back. We are going to have a run of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. This is the Riku story, I believe, right? Yes, Riku story. That's going to be coming up. AeonFrodo is going to be doing that. But before we toss it over to the run itself, I have a couple thoughts I want to share just about what's going on here. First of all, as a reminder, my name is Vonnie Vaughn, and I'm going to be your host for this next run. But honestly, this isn't about me or anything like that. What this is about the community. It's about all these people here who have waited 3.5 years to come back here to make this event happen. It has been a long time coming, and here's what I'm thinking. Because we've had to wait so long for circumstances we don't really need to discuss, I think this needs to be the best RPG limit break ever as far as what we're doing, which is raising money for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So for all of you out there listening, for all of you out there watching, please, please help us just blow this out of the water from day one all the way through to the end, and let's raise as much money as we can for an extremely worthy cause, okay? Y'all with me? Yeah. Everyone? Okay, cool. All right. Alrighty. I'm going to toss it on over to AeonFrodo, and she is going to get started with the run, so go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm AeonFrodo, and this is Kingdom Hearts Chain Memories Riku Story, or Reverse Rebirth mode. So, with me, I have Ghost Wheel.
Hi.
And he's a very experienced runner, especially of Sora's story. So, we'll start the timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So Riku's story starts off with, he just went through the door of Kingdom Hearts at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, and now he's trapped at the basement, like basement 13 of Castle Oblivion, and now he has to make his way up and escape Castle Oblivion.
Yeah, and throughout all this, Sora's going through the normal floors above ground. Riku's just trying to catch up with him, and, yeah, that's how we get started here.
Oh, that
you want to
was
explain sort of the
close.
basic... Want to explain those little cards that you're picking up from the fights here, Aeon?
Yeah, so the cards that we collect are mainly for getting through the game, really. So in order to get through the doors, we must have cards that can have the right value. So say that the door up above has me required to get a 1 or above. So that means I need a card that has a value of 1 or above at the end of each battle.
Yeah, so these are map cards, basically, and you have to keep using higher and higher value map cards than the ones you used last to go through the rooms to get to the bosses and just progress through the game. And so you have to sort of manage which ones you're going to use when, if you want to make sure that you have enough, like, even when you've acquired a lot of them. And especially in Riku's story, some map cards are going to be better for opening rooms than others, because some rooms are going to be bigger, some rooms are going to be smaller, some are going to have more enemies, some are going to have harder to avoid enemies. But the best card is going to be the strong initiative card. And you want to explain why?
Because it just blows through the encounters in Hollow Bastion. It's really nice to have it, and also, yeah, it makes it count so quickly. So far, sorry.
Yeah, so when you hit an enemy in a strong initiative room, most of their health is gone on the first wave. Like, this encounter is only these 3 tornado steps. If this was a strong initiative room, they would all die in one hit. And then there would be no other enemies, and you just get the map card for free.
Alright, but since I didn't get a strong initiative card, I have to make my way through Hollow Bastion without going too high with the cards I have, so... And I can't use that 1, so I think I have no choice but to use the worst room, which is Lasting Days. Lasting Days is a massive room, and it is absolutely terrible to navigate through sometimes.
Look at all these cliffs. Just, like, imagine having to go from one end of the room to the other, just, going up all these ladders. It's going to be mitigated a bit here by, maybe wanting to fight and maybe this not being the worst angle to go through, but yeah.
Yeah, that was like a pretty bad angle to try to hit the door. I could try Mingling Worlds, which can have a chance of getting a strong initiative room. So hopefully I get the room that I want.
And the only real way to check is to sort of know the shape of the room here, interestingly enough. enough. I don't think this is a strong
No,
initiative
this
room
is
by
Teaming
shape.
Darkness.
But yeah, all the rooms are kind of procedurally generated, so they
I'm
have
gonna
like...
wait on that. Yeah, get more cards.
Yeah, like some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller, but like a lot of the features and where the doors are sort of randomly generated, so you gotta adapt on the fly. But yeah, I guess we can talk a bit about Chain of Memories in general and what separates Riku mode from Sora story and what separates GBA com from Recom. So in these fights, you'll see that Riku is chucking these cards out into the center that have his sword on them, and the enemies are doing the same. And whoever card is out in the center is like winning, and that's the attack animation that gets to happen. So you want to have higher cards, because if you can shove a higher card in front of a lower card, you'll card break them, you'll stun the enemy, you'll stop their attack, and you'll start doing your own attack. It's pretty sweet. You can also load cards under your health bar, and when you do, you will sort of add the values of the cards together and use them all at the same time. Sometimes you have special attacks, and if you have like the conditions for a special attack, those 3 cards become one big attack. But if you don't have a special attack, then you just get to do 3 attacks in order, basically. Unlike Sora, Riku just has like regular attack cards and item cards, and sometimes he gets access to Mickey, who's a friend card that'll heal him and reload cards. But yeah, the other big difference between Riku and Sora is that Riku doesn't build his own deck. He just has cards in every single world. And the Hollow Bastion deck is actually an average to above average deck. You have a decent number of cards, they're decently high value, even though some of the enemies have high values, but that is absolutely not going to be the case as we go through the worlds. There are some bad decks in this game.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrible, but yeah. So got another one, nice. So that's my second strong initiative.
We're in a strong initiative room, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so as you can see, the counts have gone really fast if they're single waves, but if they're 2 waves, I have to just deal with it as normal. Oh wow, that's amazing. So ideally,
Yeah, the more strong initiative, the better.
Yeah, so ideally I want like 7 strong initiative cards to get through Hollow Bastion, and that like cuts out like 4 minutes of the upcoming grind. So yeah, it'll be huge if I get like a lot of strong initiative cards here.
Hollow Bastion isn't even the worst place to get a few map cards, because some of the encounters can go really, really fast in strong initiative rooms in particular, and you get a decent amount of experience. But the best place to farm cards is going to be in Traverse Town coming up next, where there are even fewer enemies. But yeah, you'll notice we've leveled up a couple of times. When you level up, you can either get yourself some max HP, and every 5 level ups you can get attack power, which we're going to take every time we can. And you can get darkness points, which are going to help later. We don't really have access to the darkness mechanic yet, but that's sort of what's going on whenever you level up. You also refill your HP when you level.
Yeah, actually, speaking of the darkness point stuff, you actually don't get it in Recom at this stage of the game because of plot reasons. And you're going to get early in
Yeah,
this
you can't
version of
even
the game.
take that as a level up in Recom until you have access to it.
So it's a nice little change compared to, Recom. So anyway, I'm fighting Maleficent. The idea to fighting her is making sure you keep aerial attacks and also making sure she doesn't breathe fire. Because breathing fire forces the camera to go low and forces you to focus on the fire instead of her head.
Yeah, it's important to stop her from using cards here, because her head can go down with pretty much any attack, and if you card break her, her head's just gonna jerk right up again, so that like it can mess with your lock-on and your attack angle.
Fortunately, she's just using physical attacks here, so despite me having to not have the cards necessary to get through, managed to beat her quite easily. So I left the strong initiative room as it is, mainly because I get the overdrive card from Maleficent. And overdrive is like the main card, darkness card or side deck card that we use. And yeah, see you guys.
Yeah, so enemy cards, Riku doesn't build his deck, but actually whenever you beat a boss, you get their enemy card, and that sticks around over the course of the whole run. Most of the enemy cards are not especially relevant, but Maleficent's Overdrive card just gives you an attack bonus of like 50% while making it so that you can, so that you scroll the reload card slower, but that doesn't matter for Riku since he gets instant reloads. So it's just a straight attack upgrade for Riku. But there are a couple of enemy cards later in the run that are going to be nice to have. Namely, Genie Jafar, which makes your cards less easy to break, and Boogie Boogie, which can heal you in a critical position. But yeah, as it stands, Overdrive is just going to help clean up the rest of Hollow Bastion. It's really good to get it when you can. And it'll be helpful for farming and for pretty much every boss fight in the game. Another important thing to note about Com versus Recom is that in Com, like I said, all of these rooms are just kind of different, but also some of the map card distribution is different. So like, there are more 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s that you get versus like 1s and 2s and 3s in Recom, which can help make the branching paths a bit different if you're new to this version of the game. You also don't get stuff like the roulette rooms, and you don't have to, and you don't get random jokers either. So if you see a 50 door in front of the plot door in front of the boss, then you're gonna have to spend 50 worth of cards. You don't get a random joker to help you out with that.
Yeah, and zeros can't help either.
Oh yeah, zeros. So a zero map card will reset the requirements for going through other doors. So if you've used a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you find yourself stuck, it's nice to use a 0 to sort of let you use some of your other map cards. This is useful as the maps get bigger. And in combat, when you use a 0 card, a 0 breaks any card. It's the best card in the world when you use second, and it's the worst card in the world when you use it first. Any card can beat a 0 if you want to do so. So any good deck, especially against bosses that have special attacks, numbering, and like 3-card combos in the 20s, you want to have 0s to stop what they're doing. But again, not all the time you're going to have a deck that's good enough to be able to have 0s where you want to have them. So deck management in some of these crazier floors is going to be definitely something to watch out for.
Alright, I should be getting out Hollow Bastion. And, oh wow, it's Anthem. What's he doing here? But yeah, Anthem's a pretty straightforward fight.
Yeah, especially because the Castle Oblivion deck, as you can see, is so good. Lots of 9s, 8s, nothing lower than a 6, 0's in the right place. It's a dream.
Yeah, that deck is pretty stacked.
But now we have access to the dark mode.
Yes. Before I end up going through the door, hopefully I pick Traverse Town, because I can't take back this decision. So, yeah. There we go. It's the only option that we change throughout the entire run. So, yeah. So, Traverse Town's mainly the main place we grind. We had a few strong initiative cards in Hollow Bastion, so it should reduce the time that I am grinding for. Wow, the enemy just spawned over there. Bit unfortunate.
So, how long are you going to be here to grind?
Hopefully 20 minutes. Less than that, hopefully. So,
Are you
yeah.
going to max out your map cards, or do you have a specific target?
My target is 89. So I'll get like a little bit more just for marathon safety. But otherwise, I should be able to like, yeah, get them sooner than, yeah. Just like sooner, just get out here sooner because of the stronger initiative stuff in Hollow Bastion.
So yeah, we're going to grind 89 map cards. We're going to have time for some donations over the course, but first, I want to talk about the dark mode we just picked up. Now that we have access to dark mode, whenever you break cards or take damage, then the little darkness meter below Riku's health is going to go up. When that hits 30, the next card that you use is going to turn you into Dark Riku instead of doing anything else. And Dark Riku is really, really cool because you get access to all these sweet combos. You have a double jump, you have a stun slash in the second hit of your combo, and big damage on the third hit of your combo, and you get access to all of your special attacks, depending on what value of attack cards you have stocked in your 3-card set. So you get access to, notably, Dark Firaga in the medium ranges, which is just decent damage, and Dark Aura if you can find 3 9s. Like I said, not every deck has 9s in it, not every deck is good, but if you can find 3 9s in your deck, then you can race across the screen and do lots of slashes. It's a classic attack.
I'm getting a lot of Strong Edition cards now, which is a bit unfortunate. Also, with grinding in Traverse Town, you want to get rooms like Blooming Darkness and Teeming Darkness, because they have the most enemies per room. They have like around 8 enemies per room, and yeah, that's like the fastest way to grind.
Yep. So you're losing fewer cards when you open up a new room to get enemies if you're spawning the big rooms. There are also, like, plenty of rooms that, even, especially the medium ones, that have more spawns of encounters. Like, I'm pretty sure Meeting Ground, for instance, has like 3 spawn rooms where they just have longer fights with more soldiers in them that you don't want to deal with. So those kind of considerations are important. The Traverse Town deck is pretty good, even though it only has like a few cards in it. Those cards are all higher than anything that the enemies can dish out, so you're not going to be slowed down by the enemy attack methods.
And also with Riku's instant reload, it just makes it really fast, just to get through the cards again.
Yeah. I guess if there are any donations now, this is a decent time to read a couple of them.
Oh, baby, I've got a whole boatload of them to go through here. All right, so I tell you what, let's bang out a whole bunch of these donations here that have no comment. We got an anonymous donation of $15. Philemon donated $5. Another anonymous $15 donation. $20 from Ronan Raven, and we've got a $100 donation from Jetboy the Mage. We've got Paul donating $25, who says, super happy to be back for RPGLB and super hyped for AeonFrodo's KH run. Mokomichi USA donates $11 and says it's from the Japanese restream. Thank you. Darkrai donated $5 and says, greetings from the UK. Shoutouts to those in the Pokemon community enduring nightmares with Ironmon, and to the rest of the RPG Limit Break community for donating to a great cause. Lauren donates $5 and says Pepon. And then a $50 donation from BDragon28, which says, I wish everyone a fantastic marathon this year.
Ah! The card didn't want to come near me.
Alright. So we've got a boss door over there. You want to talk about the boss, Aeon?
Oh yeah, so the boss in this area is pretty straightforward. It's guard armor. So basically you gotta like attack all its limbs and then attack the body. It's pretty straightforward.
And when are you gonna fight guard armor? Whenever you want, or are you looking for a certain level?
I mainly am looking for hitting level 10 before the boss fight, which I've already have. Now I'm just like, grinding for more cards.
Yeah, because you get that attack upgrade every 5 levels. So we're on the 2nd level now. It's the perfect time to go chase down the boss.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. Come on.
So ideally with this boss fight too, I want to have at least enough overdrive to take out the body. So like at least like 12, I think. And I want the final hit of each combo to hit because it does more damage as well.
Yeah, guard armor actually does have a few high value cards that he can dish out. But those are some, the limbs were cleaned up really well, and it was a good fight.
Yeah, as long as you have overdrive left, that's a good fight, I would say.
Those air combos are really nice for just hitting multiple limbs at once. I know it's Sora, that definitely takes some practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're back to the Traverse grind.
But yeah, you have to beat the boss of each world to exit the world. So yeah.
And Sora gets teleported to the exit right when he's done, but Riku has to slog through. I think for story reasons, like, they tell him he has to face the darkness. He has to confront the darkness in his own heart. But yeah, it just means you gotta open more doors, get to the exit on your own.
Yeah, that 0 was a pretty important card, actually. I need that for later. What's this? 6.
The 0 red? Yeah, there's a specific boss door requirement for that.
Yeah. I might have to...
You mentioned that you need...
Yeah, I might have to go back through the intro room to get, like, a better... To get, like, a lower card thing, just so I can get through the world, really, because I unfortunately don't have a 0 on either Teeming Darkness or Looming Darkness. So the best thing to do in that situation is just to go into a room that you've previously been in, and then, like, reset, like, get the cards to be a lower, like, number, so I can get through.
Now, those Almighty Darknesses are also big rooms, but you don't want to go for those, because they actually make the enemies have higher cards, and then they can start actually fighting on an even footing with you. There's lots of cards that you want to use on doors versus in actual rooms, and you saw that room with all the cliffs, right? You want to shove as many of those cards into the boss doors as you can, so that you don't have to actually walk through those rooms. Now, we want to go here first to get all the map cards, but what's the rationale behind the rest of the world order? Like, where are you going to go first and why?
Oh, I'm going to go straight to the boss. So,
no,
yeah.
I mean, like, with, like, Agrabah and Monstro and Neverland are next, right? Which of those worlds are you going to visit first?
Oh, you mean, like, what world I'll go into first? Probably...
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Agrabah. I just go in, like, normal order. So... It's mainly because of boss HP and all that, as it increases in each world.
Yeah, so... the boss HP increases for each world, both in this set and in the next set, so you want to be able to prioritize bosses that are harder to kill because you have a bad deck or because they have a bad pattern that makes it harder to take damage. So that's going to be one thing to look out for as we go on.
Wow, that's a lot of Teeming Darkness freeze. Wow. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So in so if I have a preference for what grinding card I prefer, it's definitely not Teeming Darkness, because Looming Darkness rooms are pretty like flat, and they also have just like better encounter ways on average. So, like, say this room, it can potentially have like 2 soldiers spawn in like in this wave, and then you have to deal with the rest of these as well. So it just makes the encounters last longer on average.
Yeah, there are a couple of Teeming Darkness encounters that are 3 spawns. Like, there's the one with 2 shadows and 2 soldiers as well. But surprisingly, you know, like, because you can chase out the enemies, the fact that the Looming Darkness enemies run after you isn't really that important. You can just seek out what you need to seek out. Everything pretty much spawns around you in this game. Unlike in Recon, where every room has a fixed number of enemies and a fixed number of locations where those enemies are, so you have to go chase everything down in a Teeming Darkness room.
You mind if I pop in here for a minute?
Oh, sure.
Awesome. Okay. Before we get to a couple donations to read here, just want to talk about some of the bid wars and donation incentives that we got coming up from our next run, which is Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age. We've got a bid war here. If you want to choose the voice acting language, your choices are either in Japanese or in English. Right now, Japanese is in the lead with $26. English has 10. So you want to hear one over the other. You want to get your money in for that. We also have a bid war for naming the hero, so you can either choose one of the options that's already there, or you can start your own if you feel like doing that. We got a couple of thresholds we want to hit for some things here. You want to see the world's best Puff Puff. you want to donate to that. Right now that has $411. It needs 1,000, so we're almost halfway there. And then if you want to get Sylvando's stinking gift, we need $500 for that. We only have 50 at this point, so a little more work to do there if we want that stinking gift. As for some donations here, I got $15 from RiceCave06, who says, "Hello, RPG Limber Break. First time catching this live. May RNGesus be with all the runners." And then we have a $100 donation from Anon with no comment. Thanks very much for this.
Thank you very much. Well, RNGesus isn't as big a factor in this run, especially not compared to Sora. When you don't have to build your deck, the run gets a lot more consistent. It's really, this is a very nice execution-based category. It's a treat to watch for that reason. So, what level are you ultimately hoping to hit at the end of the game here?
So,
how much dark points? How much HP?
Yeah, so I'm aiming for like 40 dark points, and then enough attack points, and then like the rest of it goes to HP.
Yeah, 40 dark points is a decent amount. What the dark points actually do is they cover how long you can stay in dark mode when you do it. When you get card broken, you'll lose 5 dark points out of your maximum total, and when you, you lose dark points equal to the break value, and you lose 5 dark points when you get hit. So, if you get locked into a corner in some of the harder boss fights, your dark points can drop really, really quickly, and you don't want to have to drop because you're going to have to build it back up again. And it's useful in some cases to be on low HP, because the Hades enemy card lets you increase your attack strength if you're on flashing red HP. So for at least one of the bosses, we're going to want to abuse that. And so we're going to be keeping our HP low as we level up, which really all just kind of works out in the end, because we wanted those dark points anyway. How far along would you say we are in the grind here currently?
I would say we're definitely past halfway. Level 13 is where I check like the amount of cards I have, which should be coming up soon. Maybe at the end of the next room. So yeah, we'll see how much cards I have, and then I can map it out, like just to say how many rooms I have left and all that, and maybe like do a little bit of extra grinding because of the marathon safety.
Yeah. So when you're playing this game casually, like you would just normally go through all the worlds and get whatever map cards you get and use them where you need to use them. But getting them all here at the front is a lot better because it's going to let us sort of plan out which map cards to use where in all of the worlds coming out. It's like, you know how many 3s you have, you know how many 2s you have, so you make sure that you'll always have like a 1, a 2, and a 3 to start out like the next floor, for instance. And there are lots of boss doors, and they all have their own unique requirements. You mentioned that there was a red 0, there's going to be a 2 another blue, there's going to be a 7 up green, there's going to be 50, and it's just easier to plan out all of those door requirements in addition to all of the just like getting through the actual game that we have to do if we have all our map cards at once here. And really, it's cool that Traverse Town in Riku's story gives you blue cards as well, because then you don't have to worry about farming anywhere else. In Sora's story, Traverse Town is in the beginning, and you don't get blue cards in that Traverse, so you have to integrate other places into the run to make sure that you have chests, Moogle rooms, and door requirements met. But here, that's no longer the case. Unfortunately, Riku doesn't get access to chests and other just, like, clean rooms with no enemies other than the save point rooms, because
this is a weird
he
room.
can't add to his deck, so he has no reason to open a chest. Is there anything else you want to talk about with respect to just, like, farming efficiency, how you're dealing with these encounters?
With farming efficiency, so the other reason I will also want Looming Darkness cards too, is that the loads between the room is also a little bit faster, because it has like less tough to load in on average. Because when you go between doors, sometimes it takes a while for the game to load and stuff. Especially with mingling world cards, like it randomizes the room stuff. So I just hit level 13, but I won't check the cards until I use the card on the next door, because I'm pretty sure I have to use the card anyway. But yeah. But I'm just going to check the amount of cards I have when I enter the next room. I guess I don't really have other methods to help farming efficiency, except like I try to like collect the cards first when I defeat enemies, because the card is like the way to finish the battle, while experience is just like, okay, you can just leave it behind, but you need to pick it up quickly, otherwise it just doesn't end the fight as well. So you kind of have to like balance both when you're finishing fights as well.
Yeah, in Recom, all the experience comes to you, but here, you have to pick everything up in order to leave, or the experience will, like, slowly despawn, and then you finally get to leave, which, you know, it's just better to pick it up anyway. You have to be in control of where you're killing enemies. You want to pick up the map card first, because there's that big log animation of you collecting it. And all these things, every little bit that you improve your card farming is, like, minutes off of your time because of how long you're doing it. So, really, really important stuff to keep down.
Don't get to unload the zero here, but that's good because it is a grinding card. Alright. 71. That's probably 3 more rooms, I think.
Yeah, because you'll go up to 78, and then you'll go up to 85.
Yeah.
Which is a little less.
Yeah. Like ideally at the end of like, well, so when I'm grinding is like I want to have like around like 74 cards once I go through the door after hitting level 13. I think that like is the perfect mathematical total to hit like 89. You can go lower, but it's a bit riskier because
and I mean.
Yeah, you have to go back to grinding otherwise.
We gotta keep in mind here, all this map card allocation during the run, it's a really, really difficult problem to solve. Like, to the point where it's just like, if you spend another 6 seconds getting another map card just to make this easier, it's like probably worth it. I once tried to like, you know, come up with algorithms to figure out like, okay, I have this many map cards, can I get through the game, you know? And yeah, it's not easy. It's basically a global optimization problem. Like, we gotta make sure we have the door requirements set, and then we gotta set all the branching paths where they need to go. And then after that, you'd still have to consider that you want to use the rooms that you want to use. Like, you want to use small rooms to traverse, and you want to put the big cards into the door. Very difficult to improvise.
Oh, I just thought another thing that makes my grinding a bit more efficient. So I actually don't like attack enemies with the first strike, and that so when you attack enemies with the first strike, you lose a bit of time having to wait through the animation, and then you go into the encounter. There are advantages of actually stunning enemies, but for this encounter, this is like, oh yeah, that's like really straightforward. And,
yeah, so if you're not in a strong initiative, the first strike in a strong initiative room is really, really helpful. But otherwise, yeah, you do get to skip that animation. It is pretty sweet. I do think you actually still get a small amount of damage from the first strike.
Yeah, you do.
Even if it's not small initiative. It like has mattered a couple of times in certain attack values, if I remember right. But when you have overdrive, it doesn't really matter much at all. I guess we can also talk about the objects in the room. For Riku, you don't actually have to worry about buying cards. You don't need to worry about legal points. But if you do stomp on the objects, you will collect a small amount of HP. The main way you're going to heal in this game is just by leveling up, though. You just get a full health heal whenever you level up. Are there any more donations to read? We might be coming up on the end of the grind soon, so this is a good time.
You know, I don't have any donations to read, but let's talk prizes, okay? We've got a few prizes that you can get eligible for if you make a donation anytime between now and the end of the next run, which is the Dragon Quest XI run. You can get and a lot of these prizes were what Ghoul showed off in the interview right before this run that you're watching now. There are those Dragon Quest mouse pads. There are the Kingdom Hearts playing cards, and there's a Kingdom Hearts all-in-one collection. In order to get eligible for those, you need to donate at least $5. That's all you got to do. Gets you into the running, there'll be a drawing, and hopefully you get it. Now, if you donate at least $15 before the end of the next run, that gets you in the running for the Kingdom Hearts acrylic painting, which is really sweet. So, you know, other than making the donation, that's all you got to do, and then the prizes will go out randomly to those who are potentially eligible, and I highly encourage you to do so.
Awesome. So yeah, we are coming up on the end here. I guess I can go over one more distinction in the game that's really important. Some bosses are like heartless or like monsters, and those guys don't have decks. They just use single cards and they never run out and they never have to reload. But some of them can have pretty nasty cards like 8s and 9s that'll just shut down your whole deck. And other bosses are humans like you, so they have like normal deck rules. They have like, they reload their own cards, they can use slights, that kind of thing. And so they're pretty interesting to fight because you need to keep zeros to deal with their special attacks. But if you take the fight long enough casually, you can grind them out of cards and just make it so that they have to reload all the time. So you'll get to notice that when we fight Genie Jafar, who's a Heartless type boss, and Captain Hook, who's a human. But we're coming up on the end of the grind here, Aeon, so anything else you want to say about the Traverse grind?
Not really, except I just hit 89 cards, but I'm just getting a little bit extra just in case. There's something I do want to double check quickly, and that's if I got... Okay, cool. I was just wondering if I had any green 7s, because I barely saw any. And that's going to come up later in the game.
Yep, gotta make sure you save your important cards for the boss doors. Especially because the harder boss doors to open are the ones later in the game, so... I guess we didn't talk about Mickey yet in detail. You see that, you know, you're picking up Mickey every now and then in these fights, and if you chain multiple Mickeys together in a slight, his power increases, but he's gonna heal you. He's one of the only sources of healing in the entire game. He's gonna reload cards, but because of the story, he's like not around sometimes. Riku gets mad at Mickey, but now we're moving on.
Yeah.
We've
We're
ripped
out of the
Band-Aid off.
grind.
We're done with the Traverse grind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll go to Agrabah first. That's mainly to get the Genie Jafar card, and also, yeah, the map is pretty straightforward. So I just go like use low cards and all that stuff. So
yeah, the floor layout is actually based on the floor you're on rather than the world that you use. So it was kind of always going to be like this. But Genie Jafar is really, really good to get out of the way early. You want that card, and you don't want to deal with his platforms when he's at higher health.
I got 5 free Tranquil Darkness cards, which is a lot.
But you're gonna go through them. There's lots of floors to just use them, and they're
Yeah.
good to go through.
I also got, wow, 5 4s. That's, yeah. Looks like we're at least using a lot of Tranquil Darkness today. Okay then, get rid of that.
Yeah, I don't think you can use a 0 for a 5-up in the boss store.
No, you can't. So Genie Jafar is pretty straightforward. It's like, you gotta just like take out, whoops, I've used Mickey. You gotta take out Iago up there, because that's the only way you can damage Genie Jafar. We open up immediately with
Every time you
Overdrive,
card break,
and yeah, we just like take him down. Sorry.
Riku jumps really, really high, so it's easy to hit him even from the second platform, but every time you card break Genie Jafar, the platforms change. So when it's in a good pattern like this, it's advantageous to keep the momentum going.
Actually broke the pattern, that's fine. Sometimes you get really bad patterns, like you get like completely low floor, and that's when you use a gimmick card, which hopefully will show up later.
Yeah, in that fight, the gimmick card spawns randomly, but if you use it, then it brings all the platforms up for an extended period of time. That was a really, really good fight, though. Almost no interruption in the damage because of the platforms.
Yeah. So the next boss fight will start immediately after I exit this world. It's Vexen, and he can do one of three feats. He can increase his ice attack power. He also has a giant shield, so you can't attack him from the front. I was hoping he was like moving behind. You gotta be aware of his slates. He usually uses like high card value ones. But the aim here is we're going to get into dark mode for the first time. Fortunately, I'm gonna use that.
Yep. And so the easiest way to get into dark mode is to break high value cards. You hang on to your zeros and you break his slates. This double jump attack is one of the best dark mode attacks. It's really, really good. Navigating the shield is really, really difficult because Vexen can turn on a dime.
Yeah. He's like...
Unlike in Recon.
Sorry, it's just so weird that he's been stuck in the corner for so long. That really never happens to me.
Yeah, that was a really, really good burst of damage right there. You'll notice how it's often safer for Aeon to wait until Vexen uses an attack and then card break him so that he doesn't change sides. And you can just attack his back then. Unlike in Recon where, like, Vexen's shield will just shatter if you card break him, you actually have to get behind him in this version of the game. That was a great Vexen fight, though.
Yeah, it was. He didn't use Auto Life either, which is fantastic. That's like the worst case scenario. So Auto Life revives him at half HP, which is a lot to take down considering it was still pretty early in the game. And so 2 HP bars is just a lot.
Yeah, earlier versions of the Riku route actually go here first to get access to the Parasite Cage enemy card, which will allow you to negate auto life from Vexen. But if you're high rolling like you did here, then you don't need to worry about that.
Oh yeah.
But now we're in Monstro, so tell us about Monstro for a bit.
We're inside a whale.
What's going on here?
Not really much. We're just inside a whale and we're gonna fight we're gonna fight Parasite Cage. One thing about Riku's world is that it's mostly devoid of plot and you have to like once again face the darkness. Wow, okay, that's crummy blue cards. Just solved for the first time. But this deck is like pretty not so great, especially because for some reason Parasite Cage loves using high cards. And we're definitely going to use the gimmick card here. So what the gimmick card does, so the floor is essentially lava. And you don't want to be on that floor unless you have the gimmick card active. So we're going to activate the gimmick cards now. And yeah, floor is safe, so just chill on. Unfortunately, yeah, Parasite Cage likes throwing high cards. And sometimes they're just difficult to like get through.
Yeah, he jams those 6s and 8s very often.
Mm-hmm.
The floor does a little bit of damage, but it also just stops your attack animation. It's
Yeah,
very
that too. That was a pretty decent fight. Also, the biggest component about this fight too is the experience goes behind Parasite Cage, so you have to kind of like wait a little bit to pick it up sometimes. Or ideally, you jump up high in the air and pick it up before it hits the ground, which I tried to do. Whoa, I just realized how many zeros I have. That's a lot.
That's good. That'll help you get through worlds easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you'll notice that AeonFrodo is using, like, just stocking some of the worst cards in her deck, like the 1/5/7, just to get rid of the 1, right? If you jam out the 1 in the fight, it's almost always going to get broken by an enemy like Parasite Cage. So if you mix your regular combos in together, then they're going to go off more often.
Yeah.
And that's something you can't really take advantage of in dark mode, because all your stuff turns into slights in dark mode. But the dark mode combos are really, really good. It would be nice to be able to just stock regular combos.
Anyway, so we're going to Neverland. So Neverland has a pretty notorious boss in Hook. Hook can do one of 3 things. So he can either use Second Chance, which doesn't really affect much, except you can't like get the fatal blow immediately on him. You have to like do it twice. The second one is all zeros, which is the best
All
possible
zeros.
case. You just break everything except the 0 card. And then the next one is random values, which makes them incredibly random to fight against and very frustrating.
Yeah, your deck isn't great for this fight either.
Yeah.
It goes like 7 down to 0 and then up to 9. So like a good half of your cards are below 5. It's just no good.
Yeah, and also regarding the 0, it's like in the middle of the deck, so it's in like the worst possible position. If you want to like break like Hook's like really big slates.
Yeah, he cannot give you time to do it sometimes. He'll just load up attack and jam it and then just start stun locking you. It's not a fun time. So you'll notice that she just saved the 0 for later.
Oh, he did all zeros, thank you. Ah! Alright. I might actually... Ah! Yeah, I might actually die to a random break here. If his attack comes out really quickly. Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, after the Parasite Cage fight, I ideally have a level up, because level ups regen your HP, but that didn't happen. So I actually was starting out on less HP than usual, and that makes the Hook fight a bit more dangerous. But yeah, Hook's kind of notorious to, to die on, but not really surprising sometimes. All zeros again,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a hard fight.
So I should have enough HP to tank Hook this time.
Very nice. But yeah, Hook is definitely the most dangerous fight, so you'd want to get it out of the way early, but he's also the fastest to defeat, so it's better to put him at the end so that you can shred the most HP in the fastest amount of time.
Yeah, he has like the lowest HP out of like the bosses, I guess the base HP. Please get out of the way. No, okay.
Can I pop in here with a wholesome donation?
Sure.
We have $5 from Poorly Drawn Bees, who says, "Hi, Aeon, you're awesome."
Thank you.
So we've got, we don't have any more world cards now, so what's going to happen to us when we leave this world?
Oh my goodness, another Riku. Also use Incremator straight away, which is actually really bad, because that increases the values of his cards, so it makes it harder to break him. Luckily, I do have zeros right at the end of my deck that I can immediately scroll to. But yeah, that's not a good start. The way I could tell
Yeah, we gotta fight Riku.
who's Riku, which real is me right now, is the targeted one is not me. Do it, please. Thank you. Yeah,
That was a really smooth fight.
yeah. It's Riku Replica is pretty straightforward.
Yep. Just gotta use those good dark mode combos.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes, yeah, the incremator start can be really bad. So you hope for him to use it in the middle of the fight. Also, I skipped the cutscene, but like he calls him out being a faker. It's actually quite funny.
Yeah. There is one benefit to him using the incrementer, though. When he does that, all of his cards go up by 1, even the zeros.
Yeah.
So he can't use those on you anymore.
Anyway, we're in Atlantica, and this world is pretty straightforward. You have to go. So unlike hooks, you have to go to the side. Okay, I only have one. Okay then. Ideally, wanted to use a low. Whoa! I did not realize I have that many freeze. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, Atlantica has some of the most annoying enemies in the overworld, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like, on the ladders and over the springs. And then the sea neons will just chase you when you're trying to leave. But your deck is also really, really bad in Atlantica, especially against Ursula, so we're gonna have to see how that works in the boss
Oh
fight.
yeah, and Ursula is a bit harder too because we don't have Sora's attack. I believe his attack swing that is really effective against Ursula. Okay, I can see how we do this.
But yeah, you don't have a single card above 5, and the only way you're supposed to do it is by using the random values card yourself. That's a devil deal if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. So for the Ursula fight, we just ride on his shoulder, which is pretty fun, but it's not as cool as the Sora strat for this fight.
Yeah, Riku's got the hops. He can get on her shoulder when Sora can't.
And the gimmick card here just lowers her, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's gonna end the fight. She's not gonna attack either, which will let you just use all those low cards. That was really clean too. A lot of these boss fights going very well.
Yeah. Oh, where's the door? Sometimes, like, you try to find the door in some of these rooms. Even when you just beat in them, you're like, okay, where did I come from? But yeah, some rooms can, like, just try to, like, trick you and all that. Ugh. Okay, well, that's not too bad.
Gotta
It's
love
'cause
the
we
hit
can-
detection.
Yeah. We can escape this encounter quite easily thanks to hitting it. I'm trying to find a room that's like a good corner as well, so it makes it more efficient to go through the room when you know where the exit is, because usually exits in the 4 cardinal directions. And yeah, you just have a guess of where to go.
Yeah, rooms like Stagnant Space, that can be a gamble. Rooms like... What else? What other rooms are big gambles about where you're gonna go? I mean, obviously, like, Lasting Days are some of the other bigger ones.
Yeah. Oh. Try not to accidentally hit that enemy. They have a lot of high red cards, so I should try and conserve them.
Is there a 30 red door coming up? Or is
Yeah,
that
there
already
is.
used?
Yeah, in Wonderland or whenever I go to that. The next one I'm going to is Olympus, I believe. Yep. So Olympus Coliseum has a notorious, another notorious boss in Hades. Hades has some really strong attacks thanks to his Berserk card. Gonna use the last of that free because we got like 6 other frees that we can use.
So yeah, when Hades gets to low health, his damage is gonna go way up, and some of his attacks are really fast and high damaging, so there's definitely something to watch out for. What does your deck look like?
Not great. So we have a bunch of 1s and all that. So the old strat, we actually use Retrograde, the Power Wild card, where we can like just reverse those 1s into a 9. But there's a better strat that's a bit more consistent because Dark Aura is not a very it doesn't hit all its targets, unfortunately, even when that happens. And also Hades can just throw out 0 and just ruin that entirely.
Yeah, Dark Aura, unlike in Recon where it just homes in, Dark Aura just sort of like randomly streaks across the screen and enemies can dodge it easier. But it is really, really cool to just like jam a bunch of Dark Auras in fights where you normally wouldn't be able to.
And also another thing, we're trying to get to dark mode as fast as possible here to do our damage. Unfortunate that that happened. I'll wait until... So I'm using Attack Bracer
the Attack
here.
Bracer card here.
And yeah, that does... prevents Hades from getting his attacks through. Oh no.
So if you can jam out your cards fast enough, then you'll stop Hades from attacking. But if he's going first, it's a bit of a contest here.
Oh no. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't do enough damage while being in dark mode, and I got out of dark mode. But yeah, Temper Flare just increases his movement speed and all that, so he becomes very hard to deal with.
Yeah, it also changes his attacks and makes them a lot stronger.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Alright. That went a lot. Yeah. That went a lot better with the second time around with Attack Bracer, yeah. But now we have Berserk, so we're going to be using that later, but not for the upcoming boss fights.
Yeah, so like basic Riku boss theory is like, do you have enough time to get into dark mode to do more damage? Yes or no? Do you have enough time to get into dark mode and or also Berserk for more damage? Yes or no? And as the run's sort of gone on and on, as the route improvements have happened, there's less dark mode and there's less Berserk and more just good, clean execution with overdrive. So.
Oh, do you have? Yeah, I'm gonna use this 7 and yeah, okay. And so I'm just trying to plan out later on because I do need a green 7 later on, but I don't want to use the ones that I have.
I think it could also be higher than a 7, but yeah.
You can be, but yeah, I don't want to waste them because the less cards I use, the better. Anyway, so we're in Wonderland, and as I mentioned, there's a 30 door that requires red cards only. So I'm trying to use cards that are like, yeah, 4 like under. Sorry, try to use 4 less cards on that door. Well, I think you only use 4 cards anyway. Try to use the minimum, basically.
Yeah, like 7, 8, 7, 8 would be a 4 card use.
Yeah. So since I do have a lot of zeros, I might as well bust out a 0 here. Unfortunately, it's probably...
This is where the maps start getting bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
This in Halloween Town. The Wonderland deck is a little bit below average, right? But it could be worse.
It's not great. It's not great. There's no justifying it. Where's a card here? It's hard to find some cards. It's like, what can I use?
Yeah, I think it's like, what, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5? Yeah.
Fantastic deck.
Only the best for Riku.
Ugh. Okay. That took a bit of figuring out, but we're good. Yeah, a Trick Master can like do higher cards than like your deck mount. You can break him with slates, but ideally you don't. Oh my goodness. And whenever he like decides to walk, he'll try to walk again to get to the other side. He attacks from like 2 sides apart from his walk. That's, yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, I think if you break the walk, he'll like re-walk with an 8. So it's just
Yeah.
like, all right, just go.
It's just a bad idea.
Clearly want to get over there.
But yeah, Trickmaster does hit like a truck when he does his like regular attacks.
Yeah, the fire has a long enough delay that you can stop it, but he has the big sort of uppercut attack that just chunks you. The walk kind of chunks you.
Yeah. But luckily, I did not die, so that is good.
Yep, now we're moving on to the last world in the second world set, I guess. Halloween Town has a pretty big map. It also actually has some nice enemies, like, with lots and lots of experience casually. Like, you have a pretty good deck for it, but we're not gonna be, you don't need any more map cards. So we're just moving on through. And the boss at the end is gonna be Oogie Boogie, right?
Yeah, so Oogie Boogie is a pretty straightforward fight. I believe it is possible to one-round him, but you gotta be in Berserk HP range, and we just leveled up. And yeah, it's just not really worth it to try and get to low HP with just the enemy encounters.
Yeah, that's something you do in Sora, where you just, like, get into a fight and then take damage and then one-round him. But, like, definitely not worth it here. It's also, like, definitely not worth putting him in the beginning to make him have lower HP to, like, try and one-round him with Overdrive. Because I think that's not consistent, and also it's just way more important to take care of some of the other bosses first anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll just get a very consistent 2-round. Boogie's gonna throw dice here, and the dice are always breakable by a 7, so luckily this deck actually has 7s. I don't know what you would do if they didn't give them to you.
About that, by the way, he can occasionally throw out an 8. And
I've seen it once in a blue moon, yeah.
Yeah. This room is garbage, by the way. Like, sometimes you get good Tranquil Darkness rooms, and sometimes you get Tranquil Darkness rooms like this, where it's just really bad. I could have jumped on the trees, but yeah, I just, like, didn't know what to do. It's like, oh, I'll just do this.
You have to snake all the way around, and then you have to snake all the way back. This is where the worlds just start eating your map cards.
Yeah. I think that 5 is actually good because we're going down. Like, some like cards you want to avoid using, but sometimes they end up pretty good.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nice fast room.
Mm.
And then this is where the boss is, right? Yep.
Yeah. Okay, good. He did throw out an 8. I was like going, oh, don't do that.
Nice early gimmick card, too.
Yeah, I'll save the gimmick card for the second round.
Yeah, you see the gates go down every time the dice gets broken. We're gonna go for 2 rounds, and the gimmick card's just gonna lower the gates.
Please attack. Thank
and
you.
it lowers them for longer than normal.
Yeah, so the gimmick card also keeps like the gates down lower than just like regularly breaking his cards. So I just have way more time to just finish him off like this.
Very nice. Up next we have, what, Lixeus?
Yes, this is where the bosses start getting a little bit difficult. So I haven't really increased my HP by much. He can easily destroy my HP bar at this stage of the game. Since we only got the levels from Traverse Town because of the grinding we did, Ah! I got plenty of these. So yeah, he can just like easily body you with his rock attacks. So we're just gonna try to get to dark mode as fast as possible and destroy him with slates.
Yeah, Lexius is weak to dark mode too, so this is a really, really fun fight. You just get to go absolutely ham. But you
Please.
don't want that to hit you, because
Yeah.
that'll shred your dark mode.
Yeah. That was like bad reaction from me. Wow. I tried to get the card out, but it just didn't let me. So yeah, sometimes you just get bodied like that from Lexius.
Yeah, so that Rock Shatter, that was like 5 separate instances of damage, and each of those takes 5 DP off. So that was a lot of pressure on the Dark Meter there. But card breaks are really, really important. That stun is
Please stop getting closer
a
to me.
long time. And it sucks, there's not much you can do about it a lot of time when Dark Mode forces you to reload your cards. Like, you don't have access to your zeros. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Especially when the Castle Oblivion deck is as big as it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, good. Finally got that out before he these. Oh. Okay, cool.
And now we get to see Dark Aura for the first time. Awesome.
Oh no, wrong way. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rough fight, but we did it. So you get a lot of levels from Lexius because we are way under leveled. And I hit my 40 darkness points, so the rest of my level ups are going to go to HP unless I hit another level, which, yeah, that would actually increase my attack points for the part of the game. Anyway, after doing all those slates, Riku needs a rest. And now he suddenly can go to the next world as we get from this next cutscene. So the next world happens to be Destiny Island. So you think he would have like good memories here, right? No, he just has dark memories of this place. So yeah, he has to fight his way through again.
Yep.
This is also where the plot starts like picking up a bit. Oh, wow, the hit detection.
Yeah, we all actually get 2 plot doors in the next world, not this one. But Sora's got 3 every time. He's got so many plot doors to remember. Riku's just like, open the door, here's the boss. Boss doesn't even say anything, go fight him. Easy.
Oh, this is awkward actually.
Now the Destiny Island deck is also it's not as good as you'd like it to be, but at least you don't have to fight Zexion here. That fight's only in Recom.
Yes, that's another change from Recom to this game.
That is a cool fight though. I did like that inclusion in Recom. Ah yes, these stagnant spaces. Sometimes you get lucky the door's right there, hey, and sometimes you gotta walk a bit.
Oh, with how the rooms are laid out, you kind of have a good idea, like, when to use them. So they can be, like, used most efficiently. So this is the dark side fight. We get to do a really cool berserk strat here. So hopefully I don't mess it up, because if I do mess it up, we have to go sit through skipping all those cutscenes again.
Darkseid will always do the same 4 things in order, so he's really easy to sort of track and manipulate the fight. But we're gonna take some damage here. We're gonna do some damage.
They did not attack me, that's a surprise. So yeah, I suddenly do a lot of damage with Berserk. But at the same time, I have to be pretty careful because, yeah, if I do die, I have to go back to the start of the fight. And the fight can be a bit lengthy. But that was a really good dark side fight.
Yeah, Berserk gives you 2 times damage, which is very significant. Riku also does have the hops to get at Darkseid's head a lot easier than Sora does, so that's really, really nice.
Yeah. I also didn't
If he's in
accidentally
dark
increase
mode-
I didn't actually increase dark points because I'm so used to increasing dark points. Anyway, hit there's Sora.
If you actually have dark mode, you can jump all the way up to his head from the ground, which is really awesome. But you don't have time to get into dark mode there.
Yeah. I am going down to a 0.
So we're approaching the end game here. Some of the most hard fights in the game. We got Twilight Town next with Riku Replica 2 or 6, depending on how you number them. And then Castle Oblivion with Ansem. You want to talk about what's coming up?
So Riku Replica is... Yeah, he's just... How can I describe him? Like, you get one of the most unique strategies in the game that we do. At the same time, too, he can be incredibly aggressive if you, if you provoke him. So it's just one of those fights you have to like see how it is. Also, yeah, this is like the first.
Much harder than the first fight, anyway.
Yeah, it is.
But that we just did.
Yeah, so this
He's
is also.
got 3 whole health bars now.
This is like the first appearance of Twilight Town in the series as well, which is pretty funny when you think about it. I need a low card though. Maybe I can use a 0 if I can check them all out.
You probably can. You have enough zeros.
Yeah, I have a
to
lot of zeros
use your
actually.
Dark Bridge.
Well, before you get into the really tough stuff, can I pop in here with a couple things?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
So this is where we save the low blue card in order to get through this door. I had that card since the start of the game, by the way. So yeah,
And
Riku
there will be
Replica.
time after this fight before
Yeah.
the next one.
Riku Replica 2 is a scary fight in this. So I'm getting rid of Inflammate immediately because that increases the values of these cards. Might be useful at this
And
stage.
you also want him to use the other one here. You want him to use Slide Lock.
Okay,
He's
cool.
got Increment around, he's not going to do it.
Yeah, you want to use Slate Lock in order to steal that ability with our new Dark Side card, and hopefully, yeah, stop him from attacking. So to do this fight fast, you have to fight him a bit, and it can be a bit scary. Alright, come on.
So yeah, what Slight Lock does is it means that you get to keep your cards even after you use one of the slights, the 3-card combos. Normally you lose one for the entire duration of the fight. And you only have 3 9s in the deck, so if you want to keep using Dark Aura, you have to steal his Slight Lock and start using it for yourself.
Yeah.
And this is one of the only ways to do big damage to end the fight consistently, because your deck's pretty mediocre and he's very aggressive, and you are not level for this fight. He has like 6 times as much HP as you. And your zeros are in bad places too, which makes it all the worse.
Oh no. Yeah. So I tried to beat his aggression, but he was just like on top of me. So that's why like this fight is really difficult because he can just like easily overwhelm you. And he also has the same
It can go
abilities
to
as
pieces
you,
really fast.
where he just like stuns you.
Yeah.
all that. So yeah, it's really.
I think a Dark Firaga will like take out half your health from this point. Like a stun combo will take out even more.
I need to wait for him to use Slate Lock, which is really awkward. There we go. And now he's taking out most of my HP, so yeah. You can double jump to
actually
avoid the Dark Firaga, but if you time it incorrectly like I did earlier, you just get hit.
Yeah, dodging his combos, like, you use cards to control the fight most of the time to, like, make them not do attacks at all, but you can actually use your movement, especially dark movement, to dodge some of these combos. It's just very difficult sometimes, especially against Riku Replica 6. What's worse is Mickey isn't even around, so you can't even use him to heal. Nice.
I was like so scared there because
yeah, when I saw you do that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, so yes, when I said sometimes you can beat his aggression with your own aggression, that's like usually the time. So
Dark Riku reloaded there, and then I was like, all right, she's gonna reload surely, right? Then she's like going in, went in for those combos. That was a really, really hype finish.
Yeah, that's like one of the scariest ways you can end that fight, honestly.
Alright, so there should be some time now between here and Final Anthem to do some last donations.
Awesome. All right, well, before we get to that, just want to talk a little bit about what we got coming up here for the rest of this day and going into tomorrow. So right now we're watching the Kingdom Hearts Change of Memories run. After this is going to be Dragon Quest 11S, Echoes of an Elusive Age. That's the PC 80% category being run by Andy Perfect and Creative Ellie. After that, we've got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. That will be the 80% No Wonder Mail category, run by Like a Noob. And then to take us into Tuesday, we've got an 80% run of Kodelka, and that's going to be done by Reverb. I mentioned the Dragon Quest 11 run that's coming up pretty shortly if we're getting to the end game here. Want to remind you that we do have some donation incentives and bid wars for this game. As far as bid wars, you can choose the voice acting language. Right now, your choices are Japanese and English. Japanese has $37, English has $10. So if you want the English, you want to donate to get that into the lead. You can also name the hero. We've got a few names in here. Right now, the leader is Parenti with $25. So if you want to snipe that with a name of your own, it's not going to take a whole lot of money to do that. We've got a couple of incentives to hit here. One of them is to get Sylvando's Stinkin' Gift. That needs $500. It currently has 50, so we've got plenty of room to go there. And then if you would like to see the world's best Puff Puff, we need to get from $411 up to $1,000 in order to hit that. So little room to go there. As for some donations that have come in, we have a $1 donation from Mog, who said it was one of the $15 donations earlier who forgot to give a message. Recom has been a game I really like, and I recently got a copy for the original GBA. Put this dollar into the name I made for Rudy, which is McShooty. And then we have a $26 donation from RPG Maker V3 with no comment.
Alright, walk us through what's about to happen, Aeon. This final boss fight's one of the most notorious things in this game.
Yeah. Where do I begin with this fight? First of all, you have one heal, and then you have to depend on whenever Mickey drops, which can be anytime. He can easily break your heals by using a 0 or higher value cards. I'm just
And
checking how
Oogie
many.
Boogie's heal isn't even that great. It's just like, it's very slow, it's not giving you a lot of HP, and it forces you to get rid of your enemy card, which lowers your attack.
Nope.
But your deck is really, really good in Castle Oblivion, and Ansem's deck is better. He has 9s,
Yeah.
he has 8s,
He's got a lot of zeros
he's got
too.
really, really fast attacks. His attacks are so fast that he'll start going even before you're allowed to put inputs in. He's a cheater.
Yeah, he actually is as well. He also has a thing called slate bind, which is like you cannot see his slates in the corner of the screen. So that also adds a bit of danger. Why did I use that 0? I could have gone away without using that 0, but we're good.
You
least
might be okay if you... Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Why did I use that particular 0?
I was like, maybe she'll be on the top and not have to go. Okay, that wasn't that bad.
Okay, I need to calculate this. 336. Oh my god.
You're one short.
I am one short. Hold on. Gonna have to fight enemy here. That's a bit unfortunate, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to fight Castle Oblivion enemies because they come in waves. But the good thing is I have more attack power for Ansem because the level up is this is going to level me up for sure. And I'm just going to be a little bit more powerful for the final boss fight. So it's not all bad, but ideally you don't want to do this.
You get to hear the good Castle Oblivion encounter music though.
Dude. Okay, cool. Wow, that takes care of things quite easily, actually. Imagine if I got another 0 there, though. That would mean something.
Yeah, that was a troll.
Yeah, we're actually good to use that card now.
Ansem's Slide Blind is annoying, but if you hold off, you can get rid of it with the Parasite Cage. But if you want damage, you gotta put another enemy guard card out there. He's got 2 slights that are, one of which is scary. He has Dark Rush, which is misnamed as Rock Shatter, where he goes across the screen really, really fast, doing a lot of damage. And he has, Dark
Oh yeah,
Follower or
by the
something.
way, get ready on time because yeah, the time is like at the end of this fight.
Which you can more easily exploit. He summons the guy from the bottom to attack you a bunch. We know there's a Rock Shatter coming up.
That's frustrating.
Very good issues able to resolve that heal. Dodge the earlier Rock Shatter.
Oh. That would be a nice time to use a heal, but we currently don't have one.
Yeah, and Ansem blocks during his own reloads, so it's hard to do damage.
What value was that? That must be pretty
I think it
low.
was 9. Yeah.
Oh yeah, his Guardian does block attacks, so sometimes I don't just immediately attack because the guard just, yeah, is annoying.
But the double jump slash is pretty good.
Yeah, double
all
jump
the time.
slash, stunning him is also pretty nice.
Like, ideally, you'd just be able to do ground combos, but that's not
Yeah.
always gonna happen. She's got attack bracer ready, which is gonna be nice for closing out the fight.
Ah.
Berserk, which is gonna do damage as well.
Dark Shadow can, like, tear through your HP bar if you get hit by it. Time.
Nice!
That was first try handsome too, wow.
Always good.
Yeah.
Your chops as a Riku runner always rely on this Ansem fight. You play the game for an hour and then you see if you've got it. You see if you've got the run.
Yeah, the Ansem fight too is like a huge like gatekeeper to like stopping like any new runner from finishing runs. But once you have like a good idea with how to deal with his attacks and also when to break and to not get too greedy on the fight too, that you can just like it's a bit more tolerable.
When to heal, how to manage your enemy cards, like when to break, when to attack. It's a great fight to learn. And
Yeah.
you did a great job, Aeon. Congratulations.
Thank you. I guess if you want to get into more of like chain of memory speedrunning, we do have the Kingdom Hearts speedrunning Discord, which chain memories is a part of that. I'm working on a little bit of like notes to explain stuff in the game, like card incrementation, everything we've mentioned here. It's an absolute pleasure having Ghost Wheel help explain all this stuff, as he has a wealth of experience with this game, especially with Sora's story, and knowing the complexities of that story as well. But this is like a great
Yeah,
category.
that's also a good run for anyone interested in this game. I also have resources on that.
yeah, but this is a great category to just get into chain of memory speedrunning, especially if you want to like just have an easier start of just getting into it really. But yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be on RPG Limit Break. I traveled a long way to be here. If you can't tell by my accent, I'm from Australia. And I'll be here at the end of the week with Fire and Free Houses run. So you won't be seeing the last of me here.
Yep, it was a pleasure to be here. I wish I could have attended in person, but I'm so glad I got to take part in coming back to RPG Limit Break and doing what we can for Nami. Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Aeon, for that fantastic run and for that really exciting final boss fight. That was great to watch. We do, before we get off this game, we do have a $50 donation here related to it. This is from Jim B, and it says, "Chat, the plot of Kingdom Hearts isn't complicated. You just didn't play this game. The game is complicated, though. Recom is like playing Magic the Gathering while driving a car." We also have another $25 donation from RPG Maker V3 with no comment. Thank you very much for that. Alrighty, folks. Well, this is going to do it for me for hosting here for this portion. I'll be back on Friday night hosting the Final Fantasy randomizer run. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass it off to the very capable Stoltheim. He will go ahead and be hosting for this next run. But before we do that, we're going to toss it over to an ad. So just sit tight for a few minutes and don't go anywhere.
Hello, hello. Thank you very much to Vanivan, to AeonFrodo, to Sanjan, and to the cast and crew here at RPG Limit Break for helping kick off this marathon with a bang. My name is Stolteheim, and I'll be hosting for the next run on today's schedule. Andy Perfect and Creative Ellie will be bringing you an any percent co-op run of Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age. But before that, we've got a bit of an intermission to get through, a bit of setup to do, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and I'll catch up on some donations in the meantime. To start, we have $40 donated from RPG Maker V3. We have $15 from Sa Cool, $50 from Paul, $50 from Ghost Wheel, who says, RPG Limit Break is near and dear to my heart. I'm sending everyone my best wishes, and I hope I can see everyone in person again soon. Good luck to all the runners. We've got some donations to catch up on real quick, so this will be a bit of a lightning round here. We've got $5 each from Kigar and Fion. We've got $1 from Lova Baka, who says, Voila, love Baka, and team $1. We have $25 from Laral, $100 from Fate, $20 from Matt Not Hugh, who says, let's go! We have $100 from Light Arc, who says, thank you for the wonderful marathon. I just have one question for Tonic. Why so mysterious? $1 from Halkery, who says, might as well get this started. $25 from Delm, who says, good luck to everyone running in the marathon. We have $10.24 from B. Wong, who says, next week would have been my childhood friend Lena's 38th birthday, had she not passed away from suicide in 2006. I hope this donation puts, if not a face, at least a name behind the statistics. I think that is a very good time to remind everyone of what we here at RPG Limit Break stand for. We are here supporting NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization, whose work is focused around 3 pillars: education and support, awareness, and advocacy. For advocacy, that means NAMI engages in federal advocacy efforts and supports NAMI state organizations in their state-level efforts to improve mental health across the nation. And we are very proud here at RPG Limit Break to support their cause.